Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to tackle a topic that I know causes a lot of stress and anxiety for so many of you, the IELTS Reading module. Getting a high band score, especially a 7, 8, or even a 9, can feel like a monumental task, but it's often the key that unlocks the door to your dreams. Whether that's studying at a top university abroad, advancing in your career, or starting a new life in another country. A high score isn't just a number. It's a testament to your English proficiency and can significantly impact your overall IELTS result. It tells institutions that you can handle complex academic texts and thrive in an English-speaking environment. I know how frustrating it can be when you're putting in the hours but not seeing the score you need. You might feel like you're running out of time during the test, or that the passages are just too dense and complicated. I've been there, and I've helped countless students overcome these exact hurdles. The good news is that achieving a band 8 or higher is absolutely within your reach. It's not about being a genius or having a photographic memory, it's about having the right strategies and techniques in your toolkit. It's about working smarter, not just harder. So in this video, I'm going to break down the essential tips and tricks that will transform your approach to the IELTS reading test. We're going to move beyond just reading and answering questions. I'll share the secrets to mastering your time, finding answers quickly and efficiently, and understanding exactly what the examiners are looking for. By the end of our time together, you'll feel more confident, prepared, and ready to earn that band 8+ score you deserve. So, grab a notebook and let's get started on this journey together. First things first, let's talk about the biggest enemy in the IELTS reading test, the clock. You have exactly 60 minutes to answer 40 questions across 3 long passages. That breaks down to just 90 seconds per question, and that includes reading the passages. It sounds terrifying, I know. Many test takers panic, rush through the questions, and end up making careless mistakes. The key isn't to read faster in a frantic way, but to allocate your time intelligently. A common mistake is spending way too much time on the first passage because it feels easier, leaving you with very little time for the more difficult third passage. This is a recipe for a low score. A much better approach is to discipline yourself to spend no more than 20 minutes on each section. Think of it as 3 separate 20-minute tests. When the 20 minutes are up for the first passage, you must move on, even if you haven't answered every single question. It's better to leave 1 or 2 difficult questions unanswered in the first section than to miss out on 5 or 6 easier questions in the last section simply because you ran out of time. Use a watch to keep track. At the 20-minute mark, take a deep breath and switch to the next passage. At the 40-minute mark, do the same. This strict pacing prevents panic and ensures you give every question a fair shot. Within those 20 minutes, you need another strategy. Don't just dive in and start reading the entire passage from beginning to end. That's a huge waste of your precious time. Instead, I recommend spending the first 2 to 3 minutes of each 20-minute block previewing the section. This means reading the title, looking at any headings or subheadings, and most importantly, reading the questions first. Understanding what you need to look for before you start reading the main text is a game changer. It turns a passive reading exercise into an active search mission, which is far more efficient and effective. Now that we've talked about managing your time, let's look at the 2 most powerful techniques to use within that time: skimming and scanning. These are not the same as speed reading. They are specific skills for specific purposes. Skimming is when you read quickly to get the general idea or gist of a passage. You're not trying to understand every word or detail. Instead, you're looking for the main ideas. A great way to practice this is to read the first sentence of each paragraph, as this is often the topic sentence that summarizes the paragraph's main point. Your eyes should be gliding over the text, not getting stuck on unfamiliar words. Think of skimming as creating a mental map of the passage. After a quick skim, which should only take about 2 to 3 minutes, you should be able to answer a simple question like, "What is this text generally about?" You should know where the author discusses the history of a topic, where they present a problem, and where they propose a solution. This mental map is invaluable, because when you later look at a specific question, you'll have a rough idea of which paragraph is likely to contain the answer. This saves you from having to reread the entire text for every single question. Scanning is the other half of this power duo, and it's used for a different purpose. While skimming is for general understanding, scanning is for finding specific pieces of information. Once you've read a question and identified a keyword, like a name, a date, a number, or a specific term, you scan the text for that word. You are not reading for meaning at all. Your eyes are just darting across the page looking for that specific piece of data. Let your finger guide your eye down the page to help you focus. Once you locate the keyword, you stop scanning and start reading the sentence and the sentences around it carefully to find the actual answer. Mastering both skimming and scanning is non-negotiable for a Band 8+. A huge mistake I see students make is treating all questions the same. The IELTS Reading module uses a variety of question types, and each one requires a slightly different strategy. If you don't understand the specific demands of a question type, you're essentially flying blind. The main categories include multiple choice, true/false/not given, matching headings, sentence completion, and summary completion, among others. Before you even think about your test, you need to become an expert on what each of these question types is asking you to do. For example, the difference between false and not given is a classic trap that catches so many people. Let's break down that true/false/not given or yes/no/not given type. True means the information is directly stated in the text. False means the text directly contradicts the statement. The tricky one is not given, which means you simply cannot find the information in the passage. The passage might talk about the topic, but it doesn't confirm or deny that specific piece of information. To answer these correctly, you must base your answer only on the text provided, not on your own prior knowledge. If you can't put your finger on the exact sentence that proves the statement is true or false, the answer is likely not given. Similarly, matching headings questions require a different approach. For these, you are given a list of headings and you have to match them to the correct paragraphs in the text. The answer here isn't a single word or detail, but the main idea of an entire paragraph. This is where your skimming skill comes in handy. You need to read each paragraph and ask yourself, what is the central theme here? The headings are often paraphrased, so you're looking for synonyms and similar ideas, not exact word matches. Understanding the unique strategy for each question type saves time and dramatically increases your accuracy. I know this might sound obvious, but I cannot overstate its importance. You must practice regularly with authentic materials. You can't just watch videos like this one and expect your score to magically improve. Knowledge is useless without application. You need to take the strategies we're discussing and apply them over and over again until they become second nature. The goal is to make these techniques so automatic that you don't even have to think about them during the high-pressure environment of the actual test. This means doing full, timed practice tests on a consistent basis. Where do you find these materials? It's crucial to use high-quality official practice tests. The best source is the Cambridge IELTS series of books. These contain past papers and are the closest you'll get to the real exam in terms of difficulty, style, and format. Using unofficial materials you find online can be risky, as they may not accurately reflect the complexity or question types of the real test. When you practice, simulate the test conditions as closely as possible. Find a quiet place, set a timer for 60 minutes, and do not allow any interruptions. This builds your mental stamina and helps you get comfortable with the time pressure. After each practice test, the most important work begins, reviewing your mistakes. Don't just look at your score and feel happy or sad. You need to analyze every single question you got wrong. Why did you get it wrong? Did you misunderstand the question? Did you run out of time? Did you fall for a not given trap? Did you misinterpret a word? Keep a mistake journal where you write down the question, your wrong answer, the right answer, and the reason for your error. This process of active reflection is where the real learning happens. It will reveal your specific weaknesses so you can focus your efforts on improving them. Ultimately, all the tips and tricks in the world won't help if you have a fundamental problem with understanding the text. A strong vocabulary and good reading comprehension skills are the bedrock of a high IELTS score. The passages are academic in nature and will contain sophisticated vocabulary. You don't need to know every single word, but if you're constantly stopping because of unfamiliar words, you'll lose time and struggle to understand the main ideas. So, how do you improve this? The best way is to read widely and actively. Don't just stick to IELTS practice tests. Make reading in English a daily habit. Read articles from sources like BBC News, The Guardian, National Geographic, or The Economist. These sources use the kind of complex language and sentence structures you'll find on the IELTS test. When you come across a new word, don't just skip it. Try to guess its meaning from the context first. Then look it up in a dictionary, but don't stop there. Write the word down in a vocabulary notebook. Don't just write the definition, write the sentence you found it in, and then try to create your own sentence using that new word. This active engagement helps move the word from your passive vocabulary to your active vocabulary. Improving comprehension goes hand in hand with building vocabulary. As you read, constantly ask yourself questions. What is the author's main argument? What evidence are they using to support it? What is their tone? Are they being critical, neutral, or supportive? Try to summarize each paragraph in your own words after you read it. This practice forces you to engage with the text on a deeper level, moving beyond just understanding individual words to grasping the overall structure, argument, and purpose of the passage. This deeper comprehension is what separates a Band 7 student from a Band 8 or 9 student. So there you have it, my comprehensive guide to conquering the IELTS reading module. We've covered the absolute importance of strict time management, the game-changing techniques of skimming and scanning, the necessity of understanding each unique question type, the non-negotiable role of consistent practice, and the foundational need to build your vocabulary and comprehension. I know it's a lot to take in, but please don't feel overwhelmed. Think of these as individual tools. Your job now is to start practicing with them one by one, until you feel comfortable using all of them together. Remember, achieving a Band 8 or higher is not a matter of luck. It's a direct result of smart preparation and consistent effort. The journey to a high band score is a marathon, not a sprint. Apply these strategies every time you practice. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small improvements you make along the way. Every mistake you analyze is a step closer to your goal. You have the ability to achieve the score you dream of, and these strategies are your roadmap to getting there. Believe in the process, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Thank you so much for watching today. I truly hope you found this video helpful and that you feel more empowered to tackle the reading test. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I love hearing from you and will do my best to answer. Don't forget to like this video if you found it useful and subscribe for more IELTS tips. I wish you the very best of luck on your IELTS journey. You've got this.